Hello, Clinical Research Circle. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much. Make sure that you go subscribe to our other channel as well. Latinos in Clinical Research is our other channel. Go to latinosinClinicalResearch.com. We write articles about stocks all the time on there as well, and all ethnicities welcome. The Clinical Research Circle actually sponsors Latinos in Clinical Research, so make sure you subscribe here, subscribe there, subscribe to all those things. Well, the three of our, mine, LICR, and the Circle.
Mine also, please,
Okay,
guys.
and Dr. Al has a great TikTok. Matter of fact, we should probably start with that. Dr. Al gets like 10,000 views per TikTok. He's like TikTok famous.
Dr. Al,
Yeah.
gotta hook up the plug.
What's his
Come on.
TikTok? What is it called? Handle? I don't know what they call
No,
it.
my last name, Dr. Al
Your last name.
Jazairli.
Okay.
Yeah, Al
Pull it
Jazair,
up.
he's got tons.
Give him
I mean,
facts, doctor.
okay, I'm
Huh?
gonna have to start with
No,
this.
that's only medical, nothing personal.
Um,
Only medical. So,
Dr. Al Jazairli, right? That's your username?
yeah.
Dr. AJ, he goes by Dr. AJ. Let me
No,
show
I
you
didn't.
guys.
It says Al Jazairli.
All right, let me show you a good one, guys. I don't know if you could hear this.
Oh.
Oh my God.
oh wow.
Go ahead, doctor.
That's great.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is.
So subscribe to that, guys. Subscribe
All
to
of you,
that.
follow
Yeah.
me, guys.
All right, let's get into it. All right, 35. This is why I like this stock. $35 million market cap, almost 36, 80 cents. This could move fast. This is penny stock, obviously, but they have interesting science. I like epigenetics, and this is just to go over like really quick the pipeline: Ewing sarcoma, advanced tumor studies, immunotherapy, and hematologic cancer. So on latinosinClinicalResearch.com, you can actually read the entire write-up. I'll put the link underneath of the due diligence that we did. But the lead molecule, seclidemstat, is a reversible LSD1 inhibitor. Inhibits the demethylation and scaffolding properties, representing a viable therapeutic option for patients who need it most. What do you guys think? Because it's all about epigenetics, so I want to get into that as well. And they actually have, the company has a very good presentation on epigenetics. What, Dr. Al, in regards to this epigenetics, like, is there potential here?
Epigenetic is, as I told you, Dan, it's like CRISPR. It's a brand new technology and modifying the protein that's secreted by DNA. It's not modifying the DNA. CRISPR, they modify the DNA. This is they modify the protein that secreted by the DNA by modifying the histidine of the DNA itself and the protein production. That's the main thing. The potential for it it's great, but I think need more exploring and more indication for this type of disease, because even in the hematological malignancy they were talking about, the CML or chronic myelogenous leukemia is still in early stages, and if you look at all these kind of cancer, it is the protein that can produce the cancer itself that's secreted by DNA. It's not the DNA.
Okay, so what about demethylation or dysregulated epigenetic enzymes can disrupt transcriptional balance? Like, what you read a lot of science magazines.
I know, but this is the dysregulation and transcriptional. The DNA to communicate with anything around it, have to produce certain proteins, okay? And called the transcription proteins that can goes and induce cell proliferation, cell death, correct the mutation for certain type of disease and or cancer and like this, and that's what the transcription. And by inhibiting or changing this transcription protein, this is how it works. The epigenetic epigenetic space, which is brand new things. As I told you, I think this is the only company that they do this at this point.
There's like a few, but it's probably like the smallest one because there's Epizyme, EPZM, Constellation. They're at a 1.6 billion. They're the biggest. So this one's the smallest one, but they're the ones doing it for Ewing sarcoma, which is a very well. Can you
Rare.
explain about this?
Ewing sarcoma is very rare cancer, mainly in pediatric population. It is like, I think, total of 400 cases a year in the United States. Only 400 cases a year.
Mm.
And this is a brand new diagnosis. So metastatic is like about 10 to 20% of these numbers. So you're looking about 400, 10%, which is 20%, which is like how many patients out of 400? 8 patients to
Right.
be treated with this. So this medicine should be very, very, very expensive.
Right.
Okay.
They have, according to their presentation, about 500 patients are diagnosed each year. Median age is
Here.
15 years median age. They have the opportunity, so they already have fast track designation, orphan drug designation, rare pediatric drug designation. Those are all good. They have a possible priority review voucher, which a lot of times these companies can actually use it or sell it to other companies, and it's worth between 80 to 150 million if they do end up getting it. So that's obviously the plan for them, is to try to get that priority review voucher. I know there are companies who get those and then you can save it or you can sell it like an asset to another company. 75% of the patients localized.
Dan, I think this is like CRISPR when it started about 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
Now this is the epigenetics, okay?
Yes.
CRISPR started like this with, just
splicing.
trying to edit the DNA itself, and then they start applying it for certain diseases, and they found good response, and now they have a clinical trial running for
Yeah, I
sickle cell.
I think for lay people, like investors, most investors are not sophisticated enough to understand science. They just look at charts, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but they look at like financial reports. And when you're looking at biotech, it pays to know a little bit about science. And I'm no expert at all by any means, but basically, the difference between this and CRISPR is CRISPR goes and targets the DNA, changes the DNA. So, like in sickle cell or beta thalassemia, which we've reviewed once on this show, they're able to go in there and actually change the DNA so that they can express proteins differently. What epigenetics does, they don't do anything with DNA. It's all about how the DNA expresses proteins, which is what epigenetics is. And sometimes environment can change that. Diet can change epigenetics. In this case, various mutations of certain enzymes like LSD1, I think is an enzyme it's a receptor on an enzyme. So which is believed to be associated with proliferation of certain tumors. I only know this because I went through the company report yesterday when I did a video on my channel. But
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 they do they
I said,
released
wow.
today.
I'm saying to myself, wow, Dan, he's so expert in this LSD
no,
one.
no,
Oh my
no. It's all
God.
fresh.
They
It's fresh in my
released
head. It's fresh in my head.
I
Those are the
personally think
top
that
company.
epigenetics and like anything like CRISPR based technology CRISPR uses, I think that is the future, the innovation. So I mean, obviously, can't go and say everybody is going to be a winner, but I do believe that this is a sector of biotechnology that people need to keep their eyes on because it's really going to be doing some pretty amazing things. I would say in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, it's already doing great stuff, right? But what was it, about 7 years, 5 years ago, when I had the medical genomics class where I used CRISPR. Um, this professor was one of the top, I think, 3 or 5 in the whole U.S. that had access to a technology, and I remember her saying that this was going to be in 5 to 7 years. At that point, it was going to be very, very big. I mean, CRISPR really hadn't hit that much back then, and then now look where it's at. So there's going to be some huge strides in in this type of technology, for sure.
But yeah, we just wanted like a little crash course on epigenetics. from you, Dr. Al. And
So as I told you, guys, the epigenetic is a protein produced by DNA. Try to work on a certain part of the cell to fix a mutation or produce new proteins. Or okay, like CML, we have certain protein that's produced with the mRNA and cause transcription protein to produce normal cells, but have a mutation happen, a wrong protein produced, and then the white blood cells start increasing, causing the chronic myelogenous leukemia. The same thing in the wing sarcoma. There's certain protein produced from the mutation happened in the DNA. So the LSD1, with all respect to Dan and his expertise in LSD1, the protein that's produced is converted or stopped by the what they call the medication. This medication they have here by SLRX company, and produce different types, so there is no growth or no stimulation.
seclidemstat.
Seclidemstat. Okay, but I think still they are also in the phase 1 or phase 2 study. So that's why it's the seclidemstat is stops the production of transcription protein or produce certain different type of transcription protein to affect on the cells. That's what epigenomics.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, that's basically what what I wanted, because I did a video yesterday on this stock.
On the epigenomic.
No, I didn't touch that topic. I just did the stock. Like, I just looked at the stock a little.
I actually checked on clinicaltrials.gov, and they have 3 studies happening right now. One of them is not yet recruiting. The other 2 are already recruiting patients, but the studies are kind of small. It has like maybe 50 or 30 patients. They are looking for that amount of patients.
So most probably is
Wow.
a phase 1 study already.
It's
Yeah,
a phase. It's a
both.
phase 2. Phase 1, 2. That's what this one is. They just initiated 2 phase 2 studies. One for Ewing sarcoma and one for advanced tumor studies, like all different cancers they have.
Wow.
And they're working on an immunotherapy, which is not yet started.
Oh,
So they have a
wow.
lot of good
That
news
is-
coming
yeah.
up. They have a lot of good news coming up, or not good news. We don't know, but a potential catalyst coming up, which you gotta like with a small market cap like this.
Yeah, that actually piques my interest a bit.
Oh, and you know what? You guys are all welcome to join me. I'm interviewing the CEO. Forgot to mention, interviewing the
Monday.
CEO next week.
So I think it most probably it have potential, because investing in these kind of all these tumor, that's mean it's a huge step for this company, and they have a promising product. I think epigenomic have a potential to be like CRISPR. Now CRISPR is like for $120.
They ended up this quarter with 33.1 million in cash and cash equivalents, which
Wow.
based on our current operating plan, we believe is sufficient to support the achievement of these readouts. State David Arthur, Chief Executive Officer of Salarius Pharmaceutical.
Yeah, we're gonna interview him next
Yeah.
week.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the earnings. So it was after hours, it's up like not even 1%. But yeah, I think the market's gonna be down again tomorrow, or who knows. You have time for this one, guys. But look, Yahoo, I don't know what it's worth. Yahoo 1 year target estimate $4. That's Yahoo's 1 year. And at the same time, they put overvalued. Look how little this makes sense. It's overvalued, and on their same analysis, it's gonna be $4 in that same period, but it's overvalued and it's at 80 cents.
Maybe we should talk to Kathy Woods and see what she thinks about this. She
Monica,
likes it.
feel free to email Kathy.
Reach out to Kathy Wood.
Yes.
Hit her up on the. Hold on, let me text her real quick.
Morgan, there is some increase in the volume after hours.
After hours?
Yeah, there was some increase in the volume
Oh yeah,
after hours.
it's probably because of the Asian market. The Asian market's been pretty hot lately. It's been up and
Really?
going. Hmm. Yeah, because I guess the view we typically get is I think the New York and maybe the London, but the afternoon evening is the Asian market.
Uh-huh. Actually, the earning came back as a surprise, minus 0.01. So less than expected, 23% less than expected. The
And,
earnings.
and it's up. Yeah, because there's nothing they can
Mm.
earn. They have the
Yeah, the earning came back at 3 o'clock,
because
1
they get
o'clock.
grants. Their income is grants that they receive, and then they basically spend it all on the research. So at least they're not losing money. Like they're not for a biotech. Like that's important because most of them are burning cash. They're able to do this on based on a lot of grants. We actually wrote about it on Latinos in Clinical Research. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the interview with the CEO, and then we'll do a reaction video after on the Clinical Research Circle.